Hi, my name is Rich Shumaker, and I have a YouTube channel.
Hello everybody, my name is Rich Shumaker and welcome to Flow of the Round, Week 7, Grab Bag. Welcome to the show. Hi everybody. This week on Grab Bag, we're going to be discussing a lot of things, including bags, oddly enough. I wanted to start with the very first thing I should have said on the very first episode of my very first show ever, which is, you don't need me. I know that sounds kind of weird coming from me on the 7th week and not on the first week or any of the other weeks in between, but since we're on a grab bag, I figured it would be a good spot to start. Now, the reason I say you don't need me is because you don't. All you need is a prop. This happens to be a round object made by Whammo. All you need is this, and time, and your body. And since every body is different and everybody is different because of it, your body and what you do is going to be different than what I do. The reason that I created the flowshop and created Flow of the Round was to help more people starting out. In addition to helping more people starting out, I wanted to help people that were more advanced as well. And then last but certainly not least, in helping you, I'm going to help myself. The more you learn, the more you teach me, and the more I learn. That's what I meant. I knew I'd get it one of these times. So again, all you need is this. A prop, time, and your body. And you're probably going to explore and find things that I never would. Now, I'm not saying please don't come every week and please don't learn from me. What I am saying, though, is if you do come every week and you do learn from me, please try to share. Basically, pay it forward, as it were. Funny enough, I'm going to grab a bag because it's grab bag week. This is the bag of choice for me. You need to learn what bag you like and then carry it around. What came up in the Yahoo forum a long time ago, that's come up on every other forum. Google has a forum, Facebook has a forum, as well as contactjuggling.org. What has come up is, do you carry your prop with you? And when I heard it, I thought, yeah, and duh, and why wouldn't you? So from my point of view, I'm not a staff person. This is a staff up here. I don't have a 6-foot staff that I have to carry around. So it's easy. I have round objects. And if you open my bag right now, I used to carry 4 55s. I would have 4 55s. They got a bit to be too much on the bag. And also, I gave 2 away. Very important. When you meet somebody and they really dig what you do, give them a ball if you can afford it. Give them a sphere. Give them a round object. If you can afford it, give it away. As I said before, pay it forward. I try to give as much away as I can. I used to call it the legacy ball. The reason I called it the legacy ball is because people in England had no idea what a lacrosse ball was, and they were saying that a lacrosse ball was similar to a cricket ball, and they're nothing alike. So that was the first ball that I started giving away, and I called it the legacy ball. All it was a lacrosse ball. The reason I stopped giving that ball away is it's not my favorite anymore. And as I showed you last week, Ledger plastic ball, which unfortunately is not in my little prop bin today, is my favorite. It just is. And if I have a legacy ball in the future, don't tell anybody, it'll be a Ledger plastic ball. 73 millimeter, I also carry one of these around. These are so amazing for doing quick things in front of people. People are like, well, what do you do? I'm a contact juggler. What's contact juggling? I'm a sphere player. What's sphere play? I'm a dynamic object manipulator. And as I like to say now, I'm a flow of the round artist. Well, I still don't know what the first one was, buddy. Tell me what this is. I'm doing it right now. And I like this because it's got a lot of float. I call it a float because since it's silver and reflective, it's hard to see any kind of tell marks. There's no tell marks. Although there are pock marks, you could technically see them if you tried. Also, the metal gives it a kind of a float to it. What I've noticed with acrylics, they float pretty good, but I like metals more. Again, personal preference. Here's my bag. I carry it with me everywhere. I have my spheres with me. I call it my zombie apocalypse bag because if there was a zombie apocalypse, at least I'd have these 3 rounds to play with. I carry other rounds too, but they're like, this is a squishy one. It's just for fun. And I have another one in here. It's a marble. Again, just for fun. It's not actually for usage. I just happen to have them with me. Now, if you've noticed the shirt, and I'm sweating again. I forgot to put a double shirt on. That was my secret, was I put 2 shirts on, and then by the end of this, I wouldn't look like I had sweated to death. So if you open this up, it's good to have a wallet, and look what it is. Totoro! Which is also my shirt. Now, if you don't know what Totoro is, since it's the grab bag, I figured I would tell you about Totoro. One of the things contact jugglers and any other artists have to do or have is inspiration. Without inspiration in your life, you're not going to, let me turn it a little bit so we don't get the reflection. Without inspiration, you're not going to be able to push over the finish line. And it is better to finish something that's not perfect than make something perfect and never finish. I watched a great video on that recently. I wish I could link it. And Hayao Miyazaki, who created Totoro, is probably one of the most influential people as far as artistry goes in animation to me. And my sister Debbie got me, and the family, this is a family present by the way, we got this, and it is the complete box set, as it says. It's the collected works, so it's not complete, but it's almost all of them. And the really cool thing about this is it came wrapped in this. It's a little bit of the celluloid-esque looking things, because it's not actually from the film itself, and it was wrapped around here, and I just thought that was an amazing touch. This is something that I recommend if you've never heard of Hayao Miyazaki. Spirited Away, Totoro, or it's actually called My Neighbor Totoro. Let me go down a couple of the other ones. Oh, I'm old, so I wear glasses when I have to read. So a couple of the works: Nausicaa in the Valley of the Wind, Castle in the Sky, My Neighbor Totoro, Kiki's Delivery Service, Poco Rosso, Princess Mononoke, Spirited Away, Howl's Moving Castle, Ponyo, The Wind Rises, and he also did a Lupin. He did Lupin the Third, The Castle of Caligistri. I don't know how to say it. What I wanted to say though is inspirational, and I'm glad we're doing grab bag this week because I can grab this and show it to you. A tip for everyone that does round object manipulation. See how I changed that? Flow of the round, as I like to call it. The tip is this. It's actually a three-parter. It's a three-part tip. Part number one: put your round objects inside a bag. I know these guys. Put your round objects in a bag. It makes it easier to carry them around. Carry a polishing cloth so that you can polish your spheres. Notice how I didn't use that other word? I wonder why I wouldn't use that other word to talk about what we're talking about. My name is Rich Shumaker still. We're back in the studio live. And here's my next tip. It's called a sock. Now, what do you do with a sock, Rich? I will tell you what you do with a sock. You take the sock and you put a sphere in it. And then you can put another one in it. Yay! Now try not to clicker-clacker them, as that could cause damage. What I've done in the past, and let me pop this round object out, is I've gone every other. So this is a silicone, which are really bouncy. Silicones are really bouncy. Bouncy. And they don't go in quite as easily. So every other, and then you just push them down. And there you go. I've got 4 that are going in this bag. And then now, if you need, say you put all of your round objects that you spin with, you put them all in one sock, you just grab that sock and you go. Now you can also do something pretty cool. I've seen people sew these together and create like a little bandolero. It's kind of awesome, if you ask me. Tip of the week was the sock, everybody. That was the tip of the week, was the sock. Welcome to Grab Bag, everybody. It could be a little bit of everything on a grab bag. Miyachi. This is, I think they call this the handbag. Hand sack. Original hand sack. I should have read the label. That would have told me what it was. Now, the reason we're bringing this out today is for a couple of reasons. A couple of reasons we're bringing this out. First, if you need an impromptu round object stand, these things are great. They're awesome. Also, playing with Miyachi is great for back of the hand. Now, I'm not great at Miyachi. Also, this space, as I've told you before, know your environment. This environment, or this space, isn't the best for doing certain things, and I haven't practiced my Miyachi skills in a while. Now, the reason I'm bringing Miyachi up, though, is because they used to do this transfer like this. And I was like, that is an amazing transfer. And what I saw Dave Cox doing, shout out to Dave, is he had already been taking that and turning that into a transfer with a round object. And honestly, that's one of my favorite transfers that you can do these days. I don't do it a lot. I just like the way it looks. Also, if you watch Sphereplay #1, which is available on YouTube, Doc Pop does a move where he does that and then he ends up like this. So the round object's like that. I can't do it. I have seen him do it, and I really, really like it, and I enjoy it, and I appreciate it. I think it's awesome. Remember when I said I really liked that bag that I showed you? I liked it so much that the day I saw it, I bought more than one. Because that's something that you'll learn as a dynamic object manipulator, as a flow artist, as a contact juggler, as a sphere player, as a prop person in general. If you find a prop you like, buy a bunch of them. Because you might never get that prop ever again. If you can afford it. I mean, don't go into debt to buy the props. Now, I take that to heart with other things too. So I found that bag and I loved it. So I bought a bunch of them. And just to prove that I bought a bunch of them and that I've actually used them over the years, this was the one that wore out with the seam right here. And it seems to be a design flaw / I probably overfilled them. And this thing just basically imploded. Not as bad as the next one, but I couldn't use it anymore because stuff was falling out of it. It was just getting to be a pain. So I transferred to the next bag. And the next bag, well, this one I really destroyed. It's got no strap on it anymore. That's how much I destroyed it. And again, I completely ripped it out on this one. This thing's just a mess, a hot mess. Look, it's almost completely devastated. So then I transferred to the one that I showed you. Everything is in this one now. Now, I think I have one, maybe two more of these left, so I'm going to probably have to go shopping and make sure that I have a supply, because once this one dies, then I have to get the next one, and I have to go to the next one. What I will tell you, though, is that is not the only bag that I have. It is important to have different bags for different reasons. Now, this bag right here holds a very special object, one that I don't hardly ever use ever. I've used it a few times. Oh. What I was going to say, though, is I thought it had my 4-inch wooden sphere in it, which is what I recommend to do fireball with, or fire sphere. Although I don't really recommend fire sphere at all. You're probably wondering, why don't you recommend fire sphere? It's so dangerous and exciting. It is dangerous. It is exciting. And I also find it boring to watch. And the reason I say that is because a string with a ball at the end, just going like this, with the ball, with the flame going around and around, is 10,000 times more impressive than rolling a flaming ball on your body. It just is. It's a visual thing, and I find it more visually impressive. This ledger plastic ball will not fit easily in this bag unless you want to suck up all the room. So make sure the ball or the round object that you're going to be using fits in the bag you're going to get. It's a silly, silly thing to say, except I have bought bags and then went to put the spheres in it and they didn't fit, and I felt silly. This is an insulated bag that you would use to basically take your lunch in. And in here we have the Pokeball that we used a few episodes ago. We have two of the other ones that go into my sock. So while I'm here, I'll take my sock and I'll throw these two in there, because it's always good to try to keep them together, the ones that you're trying to keep together. And again, I'm going to put a squishy ball between the acrylics, and then boom, there you go. Now, there you go. I have 4 plus 2 plus 1. Advanced math tells me that's 7. And this is fairly easy to carry around now. And the good thing is now I've got all of them in one spot. So boom, I'm ready to play. I just grabbed this one bag, good to go. Next up on the grab bag show for today is journals. Journals. I have about 6 or 7 total journals for my contact juggling, which is not a lot. To me, I should have a lot more. I didn't start making a journal until 2001. It was called Contact Juggling Convention. Anyway, back to the point. At that convention, I met Marco. Marco is from the Netherlands. Now, what happened was, Marco was really, really nice to me, and he said, dude, totally check out my journal. Here you go. And he handed it over to me, and I flipped it open, and I started looking through it, and I'm like, blah, blah, blah. What does this say? What's the... Marco, this, thanks for letting me see this. I can't really read much of it. And he goes, oh, I forgot. I write in 2 or 3 different languages when I'm writing in my journal, which I found hilarious. So he'll be writing in English, and then he will switch, I do believe, to Dutch. And then I think there was a third language, maybe German, but I can't remember exactly what it was. And then he would switch back to English. And literally it was like one sentence was one sentence was another. And sometimes it was paragraphs, sometimes it was pages. what though the important lesson is to create a journal, keep a journal, journal what you do, and move forward with that. Now, the reason that I created the Dream Machine was because I needed what's called a multimedia journal. This is paper, people, and we're doing video, and we're doing sound. You need one. You should get one. And if you want one that's electronic, check out my Dream Machine. I'll put a link to that in the YouTube video. For now, I think it's richshumaker.com/dreammachine, and it will take you to my first version of the Dream Machine that I created with TiddlyWiki. In the future, I'll be creating more videos on my Dream Machine. We are going to head on over to something that Shifty told me about, and that is the table buffer and polisher. So there's this stuff called Novus polish. Comes in 3 different grades. I think you start with 3, go to 2, then go to 1, but I always forget which order it is. And what you do is you take the Novus polish and you polish your acrylics with it. And I was like, yeah, it's okay. It gets you okay results. And then I talked to Shifty, and this was a long time ago. And what Shifty said was, I just went and bought a table polish. I just bought a buffer polisher, what you're seeing on screen right now. And I was like, a buffer polisher, really? And what he would do is he would take his, not one of these, he would take an acrylic and he'd put like a Sharpie mark in like every different quadrant, and then he'd buff it. Took him about 10-15 minutes, and his spheres were always like immaculate. Now other people who are professionals say just go buy new ones. Like, you don't need to buff or polish it. Just go buy a whole new set. If you can afford that, when your round objects get all buffed up or all scuffed up, not buffed up, when they get all scuffed up, you can just get rid of all of them, then I recommend doing that. Get rid of all of them, give them to new people, get them started with a beater ball, as a lot of people call it. And then you go buy a whole new set, and then they're crispy and polished and brand new and all nicey. I can't do that. Maybe you can. Hey everybody, I'm back. My name's Cowboy Stormtrooper. It's my new character. I hope you enjoy Cowboy Stormtrooper. Cowboy Stormtrooper. You can isolate anything, people, even BB-8. The Cowboy Stormtrooper isolating BB-8. Hoo, yeah, do, yeah, do, yeah. BB-8, everybody. That was the picture for this week, and a lot of people ask, is the glass half empty or is the glass half full? Now, what I would say to them is that the glass is half empty and half full. As you can tell, that's what it is. These are actually ice cubes that are round, as if you couldn't tell, which is pretty amazing. And the top one looks like the Death Star. So you see the tie-in now why I did the Star Wars stuff. That is the drink that I like more than beer, and that is Jägermeister. I became a huge fan of Jägermeister a long time ago, and I used that picture for this week's show. I want to say thank you to everybody that's been watching these videos either live or pre or post, meaning before or after, on the Flow of the Round Facebook group, or if you've been watching it, make sure to tweet FLOTR. My name again, Rich Shumaker, richshumaker.com, and contactjuggling.com. Check out the YouTube page, as that is important to tell you all about things. And grab bag. I hope you have an amazing week, everybody. Have lots of fun. Try to enjoy yourself. Now, I'm trying to get out of saying certain words a lot, and I can feel it already. Now is going to be my word this week. Now, it's really important to know that if you're having technical difficulties, that you need to create a fancy screen. Because the more I learn by teaching you, the more I learn. Wait, that's not what I meant. Whammo. You can isolate anything, people, even BB-8. Number 1, don't need me. You just don't need me. Look, I pulled the label off. I don't have to worry about any sponsorship issues. Although I'll take any sponsors. That's the issue. Dun dun dun.